Right guys, for those of you that are trying to call me out on the little Fiat 500 and the tyres at the MOT, saying that I shouldn't be arguing the toss of the MOT tester and that the tyres needed replacing, I've just had my retest done and 2 of them miraculously disappeared off of the test. So I had 4 tyres saying that they were close to the legal limit, and now it's gone down to 2. But as we know, even those 2 really aren't that bad at all. So the MOT tester's had another look at it. I didn't actually say anything to him at all, but he's booked it back in again, and we're now down to 2 tyres with advisories from 4 tyres with advisories. So to those of you that were trying to say I was just being tight, well, who sucks to you basically. Paper says it all. Took the Mazda home yesterday, took Brooke into school in it today. She always likes to try the cars out. So I've got new different ones in she hasn't been in before. I wanted to check out that rattle had definitely gone. Completely eliminated now guys, completely eliminated, no rattle at all. It was as simple as popping the cover off the latch and doing the 2 bolts up super tight. I know I said that before, but having taken it out now just to double check, not a rattle on it. In fact, the whole car itself is really solid. There's no rattles coming from the car at all. So yeah, that was a super nice simple fix. So yeah, if you ever have that with your Mazda, just check those 2 screws. I know a lot of you guys told me that. The i10 is in for MOT today, so we will see what happens with that. I'm going to get him to do the tracking as well, and hopefully we can get this up for sale for this weekend. Now I have done another deal on an i10 last night. A chap locally who does recovery and he does picks up scrap cars and so forth, has got hold of a little grey i10 with only 49,000 miles on it. He's put a new MOT on it and it's advisory free, and he offered it to me last night, £1,400 on a 2009 with, let's say, 46,000 miles on it. He said the bodywork might need a bit on it. Now obviously we'll have to see what that looks like when it turns up. I shall share it with you when it turns up. And he also says, I've sort of like been in contact with him for a little while, but we've never really done any deals. We had a bit of a better chat yesterday, and he said, well, I get quite a lot of them. He's got another i10 coming in next week with a Duff gearbox that he can let me have cheap, and then he's got another i10 coming up later on. So I may have found a magical source for Hyundai i10s because God knows they'll sell as quickly as I can get them in.
So guys, I just had a call on the Mazda, and I thought it was worth going through this with you guys. This is the challenges that dealers face. So it's enough that the assumption always is that we're dishonest. It's enough that the assumption always is that we're making a fortune off of the cars. And it doesn't matter how many times you go through the details of that and how honest you are about the vehicles, and you can't get away from that. Nobody's having it. They all still think, even if you show them in black and white, you're still making a fortune. Even if you go through the car in great detail, explain the preparation you've done, the potential risks with those models going forth, you still classed as being dishonest. You already start out in that place, which is tough enough as it anyway. But then when it comes to people wanting to buy your cars and part exchanges, it drives you absolutely nuts. Again, this assumption that you're massively undercutting them and you're going to mark their car up huge and make a fortune on it, and your offer is ridiculous and blah blah. This is a perfect example of it. Someone's rung about the Mazda 5 today, MX5 today. Now I've got this on Auto Trader for $3,995 with a 6-month warranty, a brand new advisory free MOT. You guys know that I've spent the time on this, doing the work for the MOT, changing out the suspension components, cleaning and sealing the hood on the car, machine polishing the body, and I am selling it under what Auto Trader says its value is. So it's a fantastic deal on the car. I'm presuming the reason the person's picked up the phone to call me in the first place is they've seen that this car is well underpriced against the other ones on Auto Trader. It's more like a private seller price, but even they're asking more than me. So the gentleman rings up about the car and says, the only thing is I'm going to have a part exchange to give in. I said, no problem at all, we can do a part exchange. He says, I've got a little smart car, which immediately worries me a little bit because I know nothing about them. I don't know how saleable they are. But he says the thing with it is it's immaculate. It's one lady owner. It's only done 9,500 miles on it. It's got a full service history on the car. It's immaculate. It's fantastic condition. I said, okay, well, I said, I don't know an awful lot about them. I said, but this is the way I work. I price my cars by what Auto Trader says my car should be. I do that price or better. So a lot of my cars actually say good price, not fair price, but good price, or even lower than that. low price, like this example with the Mazda. I said, so the way I value your car for part exchange is I use the very same tool on Auto Trader. What Auto Trader says your part exchange is worth is what I'll give you for your part exchange, based on condition, obviously, and how long the MOT is, those things, in the same way you view that on my car. I will give you the price that Auto Trader says. So I've valued my car via Auto Trader's tool, or even bettered that price, and I'll value your part exchange in the same way. No problem at all. So I go to put his car through, he gives me the registration, I go to put it through Auto Trader, and it can't value the car because it's too old. So I do a little bit of research on Auto Trader, and I see these cars being sold by dealers, you know, with similar sort of mileage at similar sort of ages at around £2,500. Okay. So then I hop onto Parker's, because I know that Parker's can give me a valuation. So I pop the little smart car through Parker's. I pay to have the adjust the mileage down. Let's take it down. Actually, it's gone up now, 10 to 10,000. There we go. Update the valuation, and we will see that Parker's come back and say that the part exchange value for that car has jumped up to 20,000 miles again for some reason, but let's say that adds a couple more £100 on top. It's saying the part exchange is going to be about £1,200, £1,300, and a franchise dealer can sell it on his forecourt or around about £2,000. Let's say with the mileage £2,500, so it's give benefit of the doubt, 2.5. But an independent dealer is less, so I should be around £1,600–1,700 for that car on the forecourt. Okay. Let's just quickly check what Parker says that my Mazda is worth. Now, my Mazda says a franchise dealer should be selling it at 4.5, which is what Auto Trader says, about 4,500 with the 70,000 miles it's got. And an independent dealer should be 3,955. So I'm pretty much bang on what an independent dealer should be. Auto Trader says it's worth a bit more than that. Parker says it's worth a bit less than that. But I'm bang on the money with mine. So fair's fair. The valuation for his car by the same tool is that I should be paying him around about, I'd say, maximum £1,300 for it. Based on what I'm seeing on Auto Trader, I should really be paying about £1,000 for it. But this chap turns around and says to me, if it isn't over £2,000, don't even bother ringing me back. That was his attitude. If it's not over £2,000, don't even bother ringing me back. So you've rang up on my car that is £600 under Auto Trader's valuation, is bang on the money by Parker's valuation, but you want me to offer you far more for your part exchange than any of the same systems say its value is. And you aren't going to give me a warranty on that car. I've got no comeback. If you sell it to me, I have zero protection on that car. It could have an absolutely duff gearbox, an absolutely duff engine, but the assumption is, as a dealer, I'm supposed to be able to identify those things on a short test drive. I have zero comeback on that customer if he's falsely presented that vehicle to me as a dealer. He gives me no warranty, and I think it only had a couple of months MOT left on it, so I also have to stick a new MOT on it. Then I have to machine polish the body, I have to do any touch-ups on the bodywork at all that's needed, any service that's needed. I need to do all of that, put a warranty on it. I've got to pay to advertise it, and more than private people do on these channels, because they get to advertise them free on a lot of these platforms. I've got to do all of that and then deal with any comeback. I've done all of that on my Mazda. I have serviced it, I've machine polished it, I've put it for its MOT, I've done the repair for the MOTs, I've treated the hood and given it to you with a 6-month warranty on it, a new advisory free MOT, and I'm still below what Auto Trader says for it and bang on what Parker says for it. But you should get that deal on my car, but I should pay you far over what Book says for your car, and I shouldn't even bother wasting your time. Apparently I shouldn't waste his time if my offer was less than £2,000. So as he required, I won't ring him back. Simple as that. But that's the challenge you face. And again, this is going to be one of those where the dealer offered me stupidly low money for my smart car. It's done stupid low miles. I get more for it if I did that, this, that, and the other. Yes, you'd always get more for the car if you sell it part exchange privately. And I said to him, well, obviously you're going to get more money for the car if you sell it privately. He said, oh yeah, but I can't be bothered with that. I can't be bothered with advertising it and people coming round. It's like, for goodness sake, well then you have to accept what the part exchange price is for it. If you want more money for it, put in the effort that we have to put in, well, a tiny proportion of the effort that we have to put in selling it yourself. So frustrating. It is so, this industry is so loaded up for the private individual. It's just massively loaded up in their favour. Anyway, I thought it was worth having a share with you in a little bit of a rant. I know no one's going to give a flying monkeys because everybody will always again say, oh, boo-hoo for the dealer, boo-hoo, you're losing money. You rip people off all the time anyway, and you make a fortune off all their cars anyway, and you steal them off old people and put massive markups on them and blah, blah, blah. All the rubbish that comes from the people that are completely ill-informed about the industry. But anyway, I still thought I'd share it with you.
This is the part of the business people don't show you on YouTube a lot of the time, guys. This is just yesterday's and the beginning of today's receipts that I've got to book against all the cars, the relevant cars for what that is booked out for. And those people that say, oh, you haven't counted this, you haven't counted the other, guys, I literally have every receipt for everything. I count everything on it. So yeah, just in case of getting through and booking these all against the cars. If you're not doing this right down to, you know, a little pot of epoxy for $4.49. Actually, that is mine. That's Stuart's. That's not a good example to mix that in. But yeah, if you're not doing it down, here we go. Window glass cleaner, £5.91. If you're not putting it down to as far as that, I'll book that against a single car, and then obviously I'll use it over multiple cars. But I could book it against that car, because if you're not adding these things here, I mean, there's 2 invoices here. 1922 709 just for a couple of cleaning materials. So if you're not doing that against the cars, you really don't know how much profit you make. I mean, it's substantial not having 30 quid in your pocket, isn't it? Be a takeaway on a Friday night or whatever. That has got to be put against something. If you just leave these to one side and say, oh, I'm only going to put the lower arm against the Hyundai or whatever, and the wheel, and that's what I made net profit. No, if you bought this stuff to clean it up along the way and you don't book it against the car, you don't really know what your true profit is. Prime example here, the Citroen C1 that went out the other day. You know, in a spreadsheet, we've got the cost of the car, the delivery of the car. We've got what I put down as marketing, which is contribution towards the Car Guru's motors and insurance costs. So I put £100 into each car until that's disappeared. We've got the battery, we've got some fuel that I missed off the Panda I put before, so I put it against this car. We've got a switch, some brakes, the tyres, the filler. Again, the filler won't be used entirely on this car, but now I don't have to put it against the other cars. It's been booked in full against it. We've got the paint and some sanding discs, an air freshener, wiper blades, a battery for the fob, a stabilizer link, the warranty, the service kit, the gearbox oil is not for that car. That's for the Hyundai, little black Hyundai. We're going to bring it into a gearbox service on it. So again, the Hyundai has already gone out the door, so I have to book it against something. I'm going to book it against this car. Sump plug, brake pipe. I got a car care to put a brake pipe on it because I was too busy. And we've got the card charges. Again, that's the card charges for an entire month, I think that is. But I have to book it against something, so I booked it against this car. So all of that adds up. And then on net profit of something like that little C1 that we sold for $2,695, we have a balance of £554. Always seems to come out around about £500 mark, doesn't it, guys? So yeah, and yeah, obviously we'll give Stuart his cut there on that. So yeah, you need to be doing this all the time, otherwise you haven't got a true idea. So when people tell me, oh, you know, you haven't counted this and you haven't counted that, it does make me laugh, because I am properly only to return to about adding all of these costs up.